everyone? My name is Vicky Bruns, and I'm a manager on the ConnectWise ecosystem team. And I have the pleasure of being joined today by the one, the only Peter Kujawa from the ConnectWise service leadership team. Hey, Peter, how are you?
Hey, Vicky. I'm great, thanks. So before we start, happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month,
Ooh,
whole month of
yeah.
October. I'm sure you and your family are celebrating,
Oh,
as we
we're
are.
absolutely. I actually bought my parents a cybersecurity playbook, and I don't know if they'll read it or not, but we're all accountable, right? To good cybersecurity practices, even here
Hopefully,
at
that's an
ConnectWise.
actual book. You're not sending them something with a link in it and an attachment to click on.
No, it's not a phishing attempt. It's not a phishing attempt, but that would be pretty funny though if I tried to fish my parents.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, it's called Cybersecurity on Main Street, and one of our partners, Ann Westerheim, wrote it. So
yeah.
good
Yeah, that
book.
was a neat book to see her come out with.
Yeah. So we're here today to talk about the annual compensation report for service leadership. But I figured before we dive into that, I just wanted to ask you on behalf of ConnectWise and all of our viewers, what have you been up to, Peter? What's been going on in your world?
Not much. We've been mostly just enjoying the fall colors, and the change of temperature has been really great. So just kind of sitting back. No, actually, it's been a crazy several months. We have had one of the most monumental events in our in service leadership's history, and that is we completely re-platformed our benchmarking platform and launched it over the last 30 days. So our all of our benchmarking clients all over the world this month, when they're going in to enter their Q3 data, are going into the all new SLI system that is built on ASIO. It's awesome. It took several apps down to a single web-based login. So and it's built as a platform that gives us the capability to add a lot of additional functionality, some of which we'll be announcing at Connect in November. So we couldn't be more
Wow.
excited. It's over a year-long project made possible due to the support of ConnectWise, tremendous development resources. So really exciting.
That is really cool. I bet it's awesome to see the fruits of your labor, and I'm sure you're probably getting some feedback from partners as well about the updates.
Yeah, everybody's excited. It's a huge change. I mean, we use the same platform for almost 10 years, I think.
Oh,
And
wow. That's a long
so
time in technology history.
it sure is. Yeah. I mean, we're going from an iPhone 2 to the iPhone 15 or whatever the current version is. So yeah, a lot of change, but everybody's really excited about it. It's going to take us forward and give us again the capability to add a lot of new things that we've had on the list that partners have been asking for, but we just haven't been able to deliver because of the platform. So
Awesome.
really exciting.
Awesome. No, that's great. And I think, I know we're going to be diving into the compensation report here very shortly, but I just wanted to make sure that our viewers understand how much, I guess, great information you're sharing within our communities all over the world. So, can you give us just like, on one hand, in the last few months, where have you been? What have you been up to promoting service leadership and helping ConnectWise partners?
Oh, and we've been all over the place. We were in Denver. We were at Evolve in Denver and spent the week there with partners. We've been at some of the Evolve subgroup meetings. I was in Australia for almost 2 weeks. We met with a couple of hundred partners, I think 150 or so partners while we were there. We were there for a seminar in Sydney, went up to Cairns and met with the Evolve members up there in person. And so we've been all over the place. I'll be in Miami in a couple of weeks. I'll be at IT Nation Connect in Orlando. We'll be in Orlando the week after that. We'll be heading over to Europe the week after Thanksgiving to meet with
Wow.
the European Evolve partners. So yeah, it's been great. We've been getting the message out. My colleague Rob Bufano has been traveling a lot as well. And so the messages have been really well received. The partners really want to understand what drives success in their business. So
Mm-hmm.
really entrepreneurial bunch, very technically gifted. But there's a huge hunger for understanding what are the things that I could do in my business that would make an additional impact on our success. And because of the partners that we benchmark all over the world every quarter, we can tell them that. So it's been great.
Yeah, helping our partners to make data-driven decisions. And so talk to us a little bit about this compensation report that service leadership does.
Yeah, we brought back the comp report last year. Service leadership used to do it every other year, and the last year they had data submitted was 2015 with a early 2016 report. So it had been 7 years, and last year I don't think a week went by that one of us wasn't asked for data on comp. With wage inflation being what it's been the last couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
with recruiting and retention being as challenging as it's been, and the fact that for every MSP out there, their by far their largest expense is their people. Salaries and wages for most of our MSPs is about 75 to 85% of their cost. So you got
Wow.
to get it right. I mean,
Right.
it affects the quality of people that you have. It affects the service you're providing. It affects your retention on your people, and it has a huge impact on your profitability. So as a result, we got a huge amount of requests for that last year, and we decided to bring the report back. We announced it last year at Connect. We opened up the data submission window in November and kept it open through most of December, and we came out with the report in March.
Okay.
Couple of things with it. We had an unbelievable turnout last year. We had a record number of companies submit. About 80% of them were from the US, but the other 20% were a really good mix of Canada, Europe, mostly UK, and Australia, New Zealand. So we had data in there, and we were able to break that data out by region, and in the US, in some cases by city, and really give a lot of different looks at over 50 different positions in the market. The total report last year came out over 400 pages, which it sounds like a lot, an overwhelming amount of data, but fear not, Vicky. The You only need to look at the sections that are applicable to your region, right?
Right. Right.
Um,
That makes sense.
right, and the first 100 pages or so, we had a lot of analysis on not only what compensation best practices are, but how do they correlate to profitability? Service leadership's in a unique position that we're the only company out there that captures both the profitability data for these
Mm-hmm.
partners and the comp data. So we were able to look at it and say, who's paying the most? Are the most profitable folks paying the most? That was the theory going in. Turns out it's not true. They're actually paying the least. Who's providing the most incentive pay as a percentage of total earnings? And the answer is the most profitable folks are. They're tying about 2 to 3 times as much to performance as the unprofitable or marginally profitable folks are. So we were able to find out a lot of stuff, and we provided the first 100 pages or so was more of a discussion on all of that. Then we get into the comp tables and provide data on compensation by position, by experience per position. We had a lot of information in there on raises that were given and that were anticipated for this year. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a huge amount of data in there to help the providers make better, more informed decisions on compensation.
And 100% of this data is TSP data. It's you're not taking subsets of data from any other industry or channel. It's really these are our partners. This is our community that you're gauging.
Yeah, that's a great point. The 100% of it is from TSPs. So normally, when you go out to do a compensation study in IT, you're gonna have some TSP data in there, but you're gonna have a lot of data on from enterprise and
Mm-hmm.
government and other positions that may or may not be analogous positions to the ones that the average TSP needs to staff for. So our data is 100% coming from TSPs. And it's over 50 positions. It's not just the technical positions, but we have positions that are back office positions such as finance and HR. We have sales and marketing positions in here. So
Yeah,
It
it's everyone
covers the gamut. Yeah, you bet.
that falls under one roof or should fall under one roof at a TSP. Okay. And by the way, for everybody that's tuning in, we've got the survey link that's listed right below us. So make sure that you access that link. We're not phishing you. This is a real link, and this is for this year's compensation survey, right?
Yeah, you bet. We changed it a little bit. We opened up the window to submit data earlier.
Okay.
So it's been open since October 2nd, and we will close it earlier as well. So it's going to close at the end of November. And so last year we kept it open until pretty late in December. This year we're not doing that. We're keeping it open until late November. So get your data in today. The reason that we opened it up and we're closing it earlier is we had a lot of partner feedback about raise amounts that uh,
Yeah.
basically was, hey, Peter, it's really great that you got us projected raise amounts, but you got them to us in March. It's a little late for our budgets.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
so it's fair, valid point, and we listen to feedback. And so this year, we're not going to have the full report out in December, but we are going to we're going to put out the data on anticipated raises to try to give some indication for budgeting of what everybody should be looking at. So we'll get that out in December, and we'll get the full report out in Q1 again.
Okay, so as a TSP, what's the benefit, besides getting the data after the report's done, what's the benefit of filling out this survey today?
A few things. Number one is if you provide your data, the deal we'll make with you is we'll give you a free copy of the report. So the report is normally $1,800, and you'll get it for no charge if you provide your data. Second is you'll get the report first. So we'll provide it out to everybody who put their data in first. They'll get it ahead of anybody who paid for the report. And third is I think really the holistic one, which is you're going to be contributing to the community. So the MSP, TSP community is really unique. I think that the community with peer groups and a lot of other ways, IT Nation really helps each other out and really helps raise the boat, all the boats in the water. And this is a great chance to give back and to do that by providing your data in. It will allow us to have a more nuanced, localized data sample, and it'll help every TSP out there at the more data that we get. So we had a record number last year submit, and we'd like to significantly increase it even for this year. I think the fourth benefit, and we could pull that slide up now with the info on it.
Yeah, let's do it.
The fourth benefit is the one that's listed there, Vicky, which is, I think, sort of a dubious benefit, and that is you get entered into a drawing to win an hour of time with me. I'm not sure how much of a prize that is, Vicky, but apparently the marketing people think it's a good thing.
I agree. Well, also we were talking about this earlier, Peter, where I said I'm sure that you probably get a lot of TSPs that come to you directly and they say, "Okay, Peter, I have the data. Now, what am I supposed to do with it if I'm overpaying my, sales reps by 3 times the amount that I'm supposed to, based on the data that you provided, right? Or I'm underpaying. How do I leverage this report and set my team and myself and my company up for success?"
Yeah. So the 1 hour, in all seriousness, we don't do we don't do consulting anymore. So the hour the team thought that would be a high value giveaway, and so I'll look forward to spending an hour with one of the partners who's submitted, and they can ask me all of those kind of questions to their heart's content, and we'll be happy to go through whatever topic that they want to related to profitability or operational maturity level improvement, etc. But back to your question, the answer is we'll have a lot of discussion in the report again about some of those compensation best practices. And we also, anybody who benchmarks with us and anybody who uses Sleek gets a lot of guidance as well. So one of the 5 functional areas in Sleek, which is our online operational maturity level improvement tool, one of the 5 areas is compensation. So there's a huge amount of analysis in there on sales compensation, on your technical team compensation, manager compensation, etc. So we give a lot of guidance. We have some tools in there that are provided to help with that. So this is just one more tool to help the providers make good compensation decisions.
Okay, great. All right. Well, before we bid you adieu and we see you at IT Nation Connect in a few weeks. And by the way, I definitely want to hear what you're up to, Peter. I know you've got a lot of great content you're going to be presenting on at the event. Is there anything else related to the compensation report that our listeners should know? Besides, make sure you take the survey right now, folks. You got the link. You know you're going to get the report. You're going to get it early.
Yeah, it's a great question. There are two things that we added this year. So we're collecting data this year on benefit costs, and we had a lot of requests for that after last year's survey. And so on a position by position level, there will be a drop down that you'll be able to click on for approximate benefit costs or benefit cost range. The other one that is a huge hot topic in the space and continues to be a hot topic in the space is work from home. And so we decided to collect some data on it. So you'll be able to, when you submit your data, be able to select a drop down from either that every position will either be full-time work from home, full-time work from the office, or hybrid 2 days a week or less, or hybrid 3 days a week or more. And so we'll be able to provide a lot of insights when we come out with the report on what everybody's doing for work from home. It won't just be anecdotal as it's been up to date.
Okay. Can I ask another question? How long does it take to fill out the report?
It depends on how many positions you've got and how organized your compensation data is. So when you go through, you'll select the number of people that you have in each role and the average total annual earnings. So you'll want to have some data put together before you go in that breaks down each position and has the averages for total annual earnings, how much of it was incentive on an average basis, etc. As long as you have that put together, it's pretty quick. But just getting in and putting that in takes a little bit of time.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, great. Well, you heard it here, folks. Make sure that you submit your data for the compensation survey for leadership and on behalf of the TSPs everywhere across the world, because there's going to be some great data. Peter was sharing with me a segment of that data from last year, and it's really interesting stuff. And it's very valuable, right? Especially when it comes to 2024 planning for your business and beyond. So, Peter, with that being said, now that we've covered the compensation report, I got to ask you, what are you up to at IT Nation Connect in Orlando? What are you going to be doing?
Well, Vicky, you'll be excited to know that I am doing 43 presentations in 4 days. I think that's what they have me scheduled for, something like that.
So presentation marathon? Are we going to be tuning in at midnight?
Yeah, exactly. And get to build a deck for each one. No, in all seriousness, I'll be presenting to anybody who comes in through the hosted guest program.
Great.
That'll be a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun last year. And then on Thursday, I'll be doing a presentation. I'll be part of a panel on M&A with several esteemed M&A experts, and I'm excited about that. And we'll also be presenting a session on budgeting best practices. So sneak peek, I mentioned that we're going to be adding some new capabilities to our benchmarking platform to Service Leadership Index. One of those is a budgeting pro forma tool that will help every provider out there use actual data, use analytics and some insights to advise them on a budget for the following year. They can tweak it, save it, and it'll measure their performance to budget in future quarters. So we'll be presenting that. I'll be presenting that with Adam Belinsky on Thursday, and providing some guidance, service leadership guidance on budgeting best practices. So providers out there should not miss that. It'll be, I think, a really good session. And then following that, we'll be doing a session on financial forecasting. So financial forecasting in real life follows budgeting. Therefore, our presentations on budgeting will be followed by financial forecasting. So, so stay tuned on that. Come to visit. I'll be doing that one with our friends from Great America, and we'll have a partner in there talking about how they do financial forecasting as well.
All
We'll
right.
also there will be other service leadership presenters. Rob Bufano and Paul Sissel will be presenting on benchmarking basics and best practices and showing off our new SLI platform. And so there, and then we'll have a booth. So
Oh
come
yeah, you'll be
stop
in the
by and say
ConnectWise
hi.
booth. You'll be in the ConnectWise booth, right? In the Solutions Pavilion.
Yeah, I think we will. And really cool, Vicky, is we
Yeah.
are going to have buttons this year.
You're gonna have buttons.
We
What?
are going to have
Oh.
a high OML and a best in class, a BIC button. So
Ooh.
anybody who's top 25% profitability, you have to stop by the booth to get your BIC button. And anybody who's high OML, stop by to get your OML button too.
Yeah, those are bragging rights. I mean, that's, that. And if you see somebody with a high OML or a BIC button on, make sure to give them a fist bump or a high five because,
You bet.
that's a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
Well, well, that is exciting, Peter. I am so pumped to see you at IT Nation Connect. And I know that a lot of our listeners that are listening in will be there to watch you as well in action. And so thanks again for all of the great contributions that you and your team do for our ConnectWise community and within the service leadership community. So we look forward to seeing you soon. And oh, by the way, if you see the link right here, make sure this is how you can register for IT Nation Connect. So we've got still in-person attendance if you want to come join us in Orlando and you want to escape the cold. Or if you want to join us virtually, we also have a free virtual option as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. I saw the numbers on attendance and it's going to blow away. Last year's event was crazy with how big it was and how much content there was. This year's event's going to be even bigger. So anybody who's thinking of coming, stop thinking about it. Reserve today. I was amazed we still have the ability to add a few more people in. So get down there. It's going to be an amazing event.
Yeah, it is. I always say, can you make it bigger and better? Yes, we can. All right. Well, great. Well, thanks again for joining us today, Peter. And thanks for you for listening in to our ConnectWise friends and family out there. And we'll see you in Orlando in a few short weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks, Vicky. Take
All
care.
right. Thanks. Bye.